Hello, you're welcome once again to the Divine Williams Show. This segment is Let's Talk About Love. It's been a while since we came your way with Let's Talk About Love. And we are right here again. After this break, I'll introduce my guest. All right, we are welcome back. Now, I want to tell you this. So I mentioned earlier that we are looking for ambassadors of the Divine Williams Show. That's another thing I want to say that we want to start answering people's questions because we have a lot of questions coming to us after we do all how do you call it we are done with the show. People ask questions because we are not live, we are not able to answer people's questions. So if you have any questions at all, we want you to send the questions to us. Or if you have any story, if you are going through anything, you can share it with us so that we'll discuss it here and give you answers and solutions as the Lord will lead us. So these are the numbers that you can send us your questions or whatever you are going through and you want us to help you deal with it on the show. Now, you don't have to use your name if you don't want to. So that will keep you anonymous. Okay. So the number is 0273 869408. If you're outside Ghana, it's plus 233 273 869408. All right, Pastor Calling. So we're talking about parental upbringing being one of the reasons why the fact that we don't know each other, how they were brought up, and all of that. This is the reason, one of the reasons why we have conflicts in our marriages and relationships. What other areas
All right.
do
Another
we have?
area that can cause conflicts, discrepancies, and disagreement is cultural upbringing.
Cultural
So
upbringing?
I
Okay.
call it cultural or environmental upbringing.
Upbringing, okay.
The environment where you grow up
Mm,
has a way of influencing you.
okay.
It has a way of molding you and teaching you things that are not spoken, but you will learn them consciously. So when we are going to marry, we have to also look at our partner in perspective to the culture or the environment that raised them up.
Okay.
It's not a sin, it's not a crime. You love the people, but you also have to take into consideration the culture and the environment by which you were raised up. Let me give an example. You know, there are some cultures in Ghana here
Right.
that if you marry your partner or a spouse from there, you are likely to experience so much parties. That
So much
means
parties are
Saturdays you go for parties,
okay.
engagements,
Okay.
weddings, days. It's a fun.
All right.
It's a cultural thing. It's our people, it's our tribe thing. We love it. We grew up with it. And even baby's naming ceremony, okay, it has to be done big. People must eat and feel we have done it. People must come and dance and know that God has done it for us. It's not bad. It's okay. That's the culture. So they grow up to see. So there's some culture environment. Every child knows how to dance because every weekend somebody's playing some
Music.
even adoring or this and that. It's not bad. You're getting it. But if you don't take care and you are from the other part of a culture or an environment where you think you are very economical, you don't want to waste money, you can quarrel or have issue with your partner even a day to your wedding. Why don't we do 4,000 to this wedding or 40,000 and save money to buy a house?
Okay.
Someone is saying, no. In my community, we do
It has
it.
to
We
be
show
big.
them.
Yeah.
We show the people that
We show them.
We have arrived. We
give them a showdown.
So you get it. I can take you through the environment in Ghana here. A lot of the environment. Some of the things you are likely to see.
That's true.
It's not them. They grew up with it. They grew up with it. So our environment and our culture has a way of shaping people or molding people or making people become who they become unconsciously. So if I tell people, if you're going to marry from a tribe or an environment, please take your time, study them, know them. It will help you to adjust with them. It's not everything you can understand. There are things you can just know and learn to compromise.
Right.
You get it. So our environment, like let's assume I was brought up in an environment where I was growing up. You hardly will see somebody selling food.
Okay.
Because an agricultural setup.
Environment.
So we believe that people go to farm. By 3-4, we are back. Prepare your own food before going to work. Before going to farm, you even prepare your food. So because everybody has cassava, this and that, so there's no need for people to
go out and go and buy anything.
That's the
to it.
point.
Yeah,
Now you are married. Your wife is not from the village.
such environment.
She's from maybe Osu.
You said that a B.
Yes. So, and she's okay once a
The
while.
fast foods.
It's okay once a while. Can we get to Frankie's? Can we get to Papa here? Can we
Mm.
eat something?
Mm.
And it's like, and you, because of where you come from, you think that 200 cities is too much to
Too much.
spend. Somebody was asking me that, but Pastor, how much is Abencoin? It's not. He said this.
So the person is thinking that 200 cities that you want us to go and eat pizza. We can prepare a lot of
Abencoin bean stew. That is somebody coming from a certain area,
Exactly.
environment where
Mm.
money must be well spent. It
Mm.
must be economical.
Frugal.
We have to make sure we do it well. We don't throw money away.
Mm.
And these are cultural things.
Right.
If you don't understand this, you will keep fighting your wife. You
Mm.
like fashion. You like this. You like this. Have you taken care to know your culture?
Mm.
You getting it? There's some cultures. Education is a must.
Mm.
Education is a must.
That's
Environment. No.
Mm.
PhD is nothing.
Mm.
And so, if you understand people by where they come from, you will know.
Mm.
This culture has a way of shaping us. I keep saying it.
That's true.
If you see a man who is rigid, who
Mhm.
cannot. I was growing up. I didn't see my dad holding my mom's bag. They're
Mm.
walking and they're holding hands. They're chit chatting. It was strange. So as we're growing up and we see guys doing that, it's like, is this guy correct?
Yeah,
Is
correct.
everything okay with
Exactly.
him? This is odd.
Are you serious?
But thank God for education. Thank God for
Absolutely.
spiritual maturity.
Mm.
We grew up to learn what our
wisdom.
parents or the
And
culture
wisdom.
didn't teach us.
Exactly.
So in the absence of that, you may have to endure the
Mm.
culture and the environment of people. You getting it? Yeah. There are some women that have a cultural mindset.
Mm.
That if you're going to sleep, you must put on cloth.
Mm. Mm.
You getting it? It's a
Okay.
cultural thing. And if the earlier you know them, the
Mm.
better it is for you. Are you getting it? We can't change them in one day. No,
Right.
there's some cultures, it takes decades, it takes
Right.
years.
Right.
If you don't learn how to play your cards well,
Mm.
you will fight over this. And changing the skin of a leopard is a lifetime investment.
Changing the scale of a leopard is a
It's a
lifetime, as it were, procedure, for want of a better word.
There's some
This
people
is-
who attend funeral every Saturday.
Mm.
That's okay for them. They are not tired.
And sometimes the people are not even related to them.
Oh.
But like we are saying, it's a
Somebody
cultural
came-
thing. They
somebody
have to
came-
be there.
Somebody went for naming ceremony, and
Mhm.
when she was going home, they asked her, "So, the baby, what's the name?" He said, "Oh, I don't remember."
But she still wait for the ceremony.
She was a ceremony. She had their buffet.
Oh my
and
goodness.
doesn't know the baby's name,
Mm.
and it's nothing wrong with that.
Mm.
That's a lifestyle. If you want to fight over everything, then we will be fighting every day.
Mm. There'll be
every
conflict
sec-
every now
everything.
and then.
So the better you know this cultural
An
setup,
environment
this
setup.
environmental upbringing, it's going to help us a
Mm.
lot. If you marry from America,
Mm.
if a Ghanaian marries from America, she's going to have a problem.
Right.
Not because you don't love her, but because
Mm.
their culture is different.
Mm.
When an American doesn't mind wearing bikini at home,
Exactly.
you know, some of them they are so they can just wear pants walking home.
Mm.
And to you, who claims you are a pastor,
Yeah.
brought up from Israel, you think that he has to be spiritual.
Yeah,
You must
that's
fear
true.
God. You must.
Mm. Mm.
It even happens in our churches,
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
our culture.
That's very, very true.
And you can look and say the way you are praying, you know, you people have, and you know that church is a collection of culture,
Right.
collection of people from different environments.
Mm.
If care is not taken, you would look down on somebody.
Mm.
That this girl, the way she's dressing, I think I would think will be a wife material. But
Mm.
you'll be surprised that it's just that the culture is influencing her dressing, but she has a good heart.
It's true. Pastor Collins, these things you are saying, and these are very serious things. They may look very trivial, but these are the reasons why marriages and relationships are collapsing every now and then. I think that, like we said when we started, knowledge, lack of knowledge, the Bible says, "My people perish." Lack of knowledge is clearly the premises or the basis why there are always conflict in our marriage and relationships. Talking about the maybe a lady looking in a certain way that will make you feel like when I was going to marry my wife,
Okay.
or when I was going to date my wife, a friend of mine, Pastor Collins, introduced me to a group created by one of my friends as well, called Apostle Peter. Peter also is a very fantastic man of God. Now, already I had this mindset that these university girls, you can't trust them. Because in my mind, they always have this sugar daddies and all of that. I mean, when you see them, as I forget them. If they come, they will not be faithful. Then one of the schools I really revere in Ghana is Gimpa. So my wife attended Gimpa. When I was going to know my wife, she was in Gimpa. Interestingly, I didn't know that she was in Gimpa. We started talking and everything, started getting to know each other and all of that, and we were becoming fond of ourselves. I started asking questions, and I realized that she was from Gimpa. To be honest with you, if I knew from the onset that she was from Gimpa, I wouldn't even dare.
Red flag.
Because in my mind,
Was a red
these
flag.
people, hey, you can't go near them. Are you getting it? If you look at my wife, she has presence, she has personality. And so I would start thinking, hey, Gimpa, with this personality, please, I wouldn't want to come near you. But for all you know, I have a lady, I mean, one of my daughters, very beautiful. She has presence. She's heavy. And she loves to dress.
Yeah.
When one of the challenges she has is that she says anytime guys see her, they feel like, hey, you there, you're already going out. You by now you have a big man that is following you. So she's struggling to find a beloved, not because she's a bad person, no, but just because of the way she carries herself. She likes to dress and all of that. She likes nails and but she has a very good. I know that she's very very humble and all of that. But because of the way she dresses and appearance and all of that, nobody wants to come close to her. So what we are saying, I agree with you. I mean, it's a problem. It's a problem.
And there's one thing you notice. There's an environment in Ghana here that they love wearing necklace and
Yes.
these things.
Right.
And so when you see their prophets, it's normal. Put on rings. It doesn't make them demonic.
Exactly.
You should just know that it's a cultural. Some of them is a cultural thing.
The environment they grew in.
I grew up even wearing watch is a problem. You get it. So I don't believe I'll grow up in future and then I will put on these rings and I'm not a fan. Somebody gave me a good watch. I said I'm not a fan of watches. But I have a friend. We were stepping out. We got to the middle of where we're going. Say, Collins, I forgot my ring, my watch.
You'll go back.
He has to go back.
Or like myself. I don't joke with my watch at all.
So you see, these are cultural things. These are petty things. But if you don't take care, it can square you off. It's like a little stone on the road and take up the tire. So if we don't handle this with maturity and with understanding and knowledge, we have problem with people, not because they are bad, but because their culture has made them in a way that instead of us to take our time and work with them, we want to just fight them.
This is serious. So we spoke about parental
culture
upbringing and then cultural or environmental upbringing. What other things can we look at?
Okay, the next thing we'll be looking at is gender difference.
Gender
difference.
Yeah. Gender. Okay, tell me about it.
You and I can flow as friends for 10 years and never have issue.
Exactly.
We can even fight today and after 2 hours you are gone. I'll call you. I'll stop that thing. I will beat you one day. It ends there. If a woman enters the room, okay, among guys, the whole dynamics will change. Because you're not the same. So if you're going to marry and the marriage is a man and a woman, automatically then there's going to be a problem. That's why I said, if you marry Jesus, as long as he's a man and you are a woman, you have problems. Right. Now, so what are we looking at under gender differences? We are looking at, there are a lot of things to look at gender differences. The way women are made, the composition is different from a man.
Absolutely.
The Bible says God took the dust of the earth, molded it, breathed on him, and man became a living soul. So from man, God took the dust from the floor, that includes stones, manure, water, and created man. When he was creating woman, he didn't go back to the dust to pick it up. He picked a refined vessel of a man through the ribs and the flesh formed the woman. So you will notice that men are down to the earth. They are down to the floor than women. That's why a man can bath once a day and he's okay. We are dust. We are close to the dust. We are dust. So if you are forcing your husband bath twice a day and this one is bathing twice a day, please take your time. Our composition is different. That's why in the definition they say a man must be ugly, if possible, fearful and smelling. That's men. And these things, it looks simple. It will sway you off. Because there's some women who are insisting my husband must bath 3 times a day. That's why insisting. I'm not saying it's not right. It's good. But no, that our gender differences doesn't make us to work on the same parameter.
Exactly.
So it means we must work on him or her. I was telling my wife just about a few days ago. I said when I was in SS, I won't talk about it. You will laugh. But Charlie, I and water were enemies. You getting it? Then I got married, and my wife can say, if you don't sleep on the bed.
If you don't bath, you'll not sleep on the
No,
bed.
no, not this bed. And I
Mm.
say, okay, I'll sleep on the floor.
Wow.
The nature is working. The competition is working in that. So this side of thing. So
Wow.
once you marry a man, you're going to
Mm.
have a lot of issues to deal
That's
with.
true.
And number two, so women are more polished.
Police,
than men.
exactly. Yeah.
So that's why when you're going for church service, you
Mm.
must wait for your wife for 30 minutes. She will tell you 2 minutes more on hand in 2 minutes.
Oh,
And the 2
I
minutes will
love
be
this.
28 minutes. I told
Mm.
you 1 minute more, I'll be back. And
Mm.
that's, you have to take that time
Mm.
to polish. They have refined.
Mm.
For a man, they can take off his trousers and just take sponge and just, he's
Right,
good to
right,
go.
right,
Why he's
right.
gone.
Mm.
The next thing is that women are more emotional.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's
If
true.
we have emotions and logics, women
Mm.
will take 80% emotional
Emotions.
and 20% logic.
Mm.
And men will take 80% logic, 20% emotional. So
Emotional.
men don't connect by emotions.
Mm.
So God is able to speak through women more than even men. Because God
Okay.
is a spirit. Spirit works on emotion, not on the mind.
Mm.
That's why in church, when the pastor says, take the anointing, 8 of them will be women who will fall. 2 will be men.
Will
Because
be
a
men.
man will have to sit down and logically think.
And think.
Pastor, I should take the anointing, but you
Mm.
are far from me. By the time he start thinking logically, people are already on the floor, and the women. That's why women are more receptive in the spirit
Mm.
than men.
That's true.
Women feel by
Mm.
emotions. They can
Mm.
tell you the husband, this guy, this lady, I don't like her around you,
Mm.
and you will not understand. You will
Exactly.
understand after 4 years
Mm.
because you want to logically be right before you admit to her.
Exactly.
But they don't do logically right; they do
Mm.
emotionally right.
Mm.
Example: if you and I, my wife, are in the room now, and the lights should go off,
Mm.
per adventure, it's likely I'll be quiet for the next 1 minute. And what will I be doing? I'll be asking myself, hey, light is gone off. It's
Mm.
true.
Mm.
How much do I have on me? 200 cedis.
Mm.
Baby will be going to school tomorrow, 40 cedis. Wife will be going to school tomorrow, 30 cedis.
Mm.
Chop money, 100 cedis. How
Mm.
much am I left with? 30 cedis.
Mm.
So whilst I'm calculating logically, my wife is shouting, hey, I told you there's light off and you are quiet. This man, I told you you don't love us. You don't care about us. The light is, we are in darkness. You're not talking. I'm not talking because I'm
Mm.
thinking through. Out of 200, my expenditure is 170. So I have only 30 cedis to keep on me and for the prepaid.
Mm.
So I'm
Mm.
thinking logically.
Exactly.
She's acting by emotions.
Mm.
You getting it?
Mm.
Now, the next thing we look at is the verbal power and the strength of man. Man, the strength of man is in the muzzle. The strength of a woman is in the mouth.
Mm. Wow.
So if a man wants to win an argument with a woman, you will end up beating her
Okay.
because your words cannot match up.
Mm.
We speak 4,000, they speak 12,000 or so. So it means that a man must must listen more than he talks when it comes to man and woman affair. They are
Wow.
vocal beings. The day you tell her that you talk too much, you are bringing Israel Hamas war again.
Mm.
You're getting it. So that's how they are. And so if we don't learn to live on gender differences, you have problem. You
Mm.
will have problem.
Mm.
If I meet my wife and she's already home, I'll go home and say, oh, honey, how was your day? She'll tell her this kind of conversation, we can't stand and talk. Let's sit down and talk. When I was going, the bus I took, the mates, the armpit was smelling. I gave her 2-3 cedis. She didn't give me 20% back,
Mm.
and that was bad. But for me, how was your day? Oh, we had a great show.
Mm.
She'll ask, how was the Van William show? I said, oh, it was great.
Mm.
I use great. I use beautiful in Ensday.
Mm.
But for them, no. They have to
They will
really
have to take
go
their
in
time to
details.
break
And
everything
so,
down for
as
you.
a man, you must be intelligent to know that you must keep saying, oh, really?
Mm.
Oh, that was bad.
Mm.
Oh, that was good. Oh, wow. You getting it? These things makes her talk. Otherwise, she'll go for a bestie
Mm.
thinking that you don't listen to her. So the
Mm.
gender
Mm.
alone has a lot of problems it brings on us.
Gender. That's true.
When we are traveling to Kumasi and we are boys, the journey is different from when we are traveling. Half of the car is full of ladies, half is full of
men.
you getting it? Yeah. The last time I was driving with my wife and something happened in the car and she shouted. I said, no, if you shout, you distract me. I want to think through and know what to do. Shouting will not answer the problem. But she will feel offended because that's how they
That's
are
the
made.
way
They
they
are
are.
vocal beings.
Mm.
But me, I was thinking, what should I do? Should I move it this way or should
Mm.
And so that's how these things, they are very minor, but you don't take care, can bring a lot of discrepancies.
It's very,
A
very,
lot of
very important
discrepancies
for
that,
us to.
yeah.
I think I like this one, the gender difference.
Difference.
Very,
We
very
can talk
key.
about it
So
almost
there are
all day.
times that we want to. There is something that is important to her, like we are saying. There are times that she can scream at something like we are already
Yeah.
saying.
And you go there and
What's
it's
wrong?
like, oh, the plate
What's the
fell.
problem? And because she expects you to feel that way for her or something, but you're a man, so come on. I mean, this is it, you are shouting. I remember my wife. My wife doesn't like to see worms, no matter how tiny they are.
Right.
She will scream.
Most women, yeah.
When I come, what's wrong? You are screaming because of this. She does not understand why I'm asking the question. So I think that the gender difference is very, very, very key,
At
very,
the-
very sensitive.
At the early stage of my marriage, I had a problem that we had to go to a counselor.
Okay.
And I knew I was right. I knew this case is a hand down, it's shut down. I'm going to win. How will you wake me up after going to work, coming back late in this traffic, and you said you want us to talk 12 midnight? Now let's talk. If I wake up, if you wake me up, I find it difficult to sleep. Okay, let's talk. And you were talking about my landlady's daughter. For me, logically, you don't bring money, won't bring improvement to my life. It's a waste of my sleep. I tell you, I'm not ready.
You're not
for
ready.
this. So after our misunderstanding, we said let's go to a counselor. And this one, because I know I will win. No reasonable person will ever wake me up 12 night to talk about something that's not relevant to me.
Exactly.
When we went there, I lost. I lost
You lost it.
I lost the case. So you can't marry somebody and not be willing to listen to her any time.
I always say that in marriage and relationship, it is important that we have to listen twice as much as we speak, because Proverbs 15 will tell you a soft answer will turn away wrath. But the way we react with harshness, it rather brings anger. So it's true.
And most men are bitter because their wives were angry and said things that were not nice to them. And it's been 6 years, they still have it at heart. A woman can tell you that, oh, I just said it when I was angry. I didn't mean it. She's gone. But you will have to keep it and incubate it for 6 years. And this thing will affect even your performance on your duty. So when we know how that women are vocal beings, they will talk, they will say, some of the things they say, they don't mean it.
They don't mean it,
so please, you have to. It's easier for us. Otherwise, if you want to, when I was young, I wanted to win an argument. And I noticed that the more I want to win, the more
you're losing.
So if care is not taken, you end up raising your hand to show her that I say, keep quiet, I'm a man. No. Just know that they have the verbal power and they will use it. You have the muscle power. Don't use it on her. Are you getting it? Thank you.
Sure.
It's getting interesting.
We have a few more to go. We spoke about parental, cultural environment, and spoke about gender balance. For me, that is key. Very sensitive. Very sensitive.
Don't know how
gender balance.
Look at another. When it comes to lovemaking in marriages, men are like heater. Once you plug the heater or you plug your kettle, trust me, 45 seconds is boiling. Kettle. Women are not like that. They're like the iron. You have to put on the iron for the next 2 minutes, 3 minutes for the iron to gradually build intensity of heat before you start ironing it. That's most reason why most people don't enjoy sex, because men do it. They want it as quick as their own is fast, forgetting that the women, their made up is different. So it takes a gradual process. Start from a phone call. I've missed you. I'm coming home today. Let it be special. But most men, once they feel they are okay, they are getting the heat, they want the wife to get a hit
as well
automatically. But you see, these things, when we know about genders, it helps you that no matter how much you are heated, you take your time and also build somebody to also get to the level.
Get heated.
Emo says, can two work together except
they agree? So I think that when it comes to sex, one of these days we should actually take our time and speak on sex.
I'm a shy person.
Wow. If you are shy, when you get into the bedroom with your wife, you're not shy. So we'll try to encourage and educate, especially this one will go more for married people.
Yes.
It's very, very important. Very, very important, because I've had to deal with a lot of issues, counsel people, and it has to do with sex. It's serious. But I like the gender balance. I think that we cannot do the show. My producer is already telling me that we are almost, close to ending the show. If we want to talk about gender balance alone, it will take a lot of our time. So we spoke about parental upbringing, environmental or cultural, and then we are speaking about gender balance. What other things are there? Then we'll look at
the rest. May be minor, but let's look at it this way. Let's look at doctrinal differences.
We say doctrinal. Okay, we're talking about religion.
Yes.
So we're talking about religion now. Okay.
So I'm married to my wife. She grew up from a different church. I'm from a different church.
Right.
And if maturity doesn't come in place, then this different doctrine, because, let me just say this. The Bible is one. The Word of God is one.
Right.
But the interpretation of the Bible is different.
Why?
Because we explain by our level of knowledge, our level of exposure, our level of intimacy with the Spirit.
Okay.
So the way the interpretation of John 3:16, my interpretation may not be the same.
But okay, we are not doing how do you call
we're
it
not theology here.
here.
That's
So
it. But
let's
that's the truth.
left it.
When you check two pastors, one has a PhD in theology, and one doesn't have a PhD. He was called by God.
That's right.
He was called by God. Even with your intimacy, if your level of physical education is limited, it will affect you.
Absolutely.
That's why even people who were closer to Jesus, some of them couldn't write 2 books because they were not much educated. So Paul had an advantage, not because of being close to Jesus.
He was not even close with Jesus.
He didn't even come to see him, let's say so. But because of his level of education,
he's able to write
more. So the maturity of the people leading us, the level of education, and our intimacy in God can bring various interpretations when it comes to the same thing. So it happens in churches. So example, let me use a funny example. God told Moses, take off your sandals because where you are standing is a holy land. I believe that it was not by the sandals. Maybe Moses has walked for 40 years in the wilderness with the same sandals. So a facia, no, a part of it is right. So God doesn't, it was disgraceful in his, so God said remove it. When you read the book of Acts, when the angel appeared, when the Lord appeared to Peter in prison, he said, Peter, wear your sandals and let's go out. So one God appear, remove it. One God appear, wear it. You can't form a doctrine out of this.
That's true.
But unfortunately, because of lack of knowledge and exposure, people can pick a scripture and form a doctrine out of it.
Exactly.
You get it? There's nothing wrong with it. I'm okay with it. But I'm saying that the churches we attend, they form an integral part of our behavior and our mindset.
Very true.
And if care is not taken, you can marry a woman who can tell you that doggy style is a sin or is wrong from their pastor's perspective.
Exactly.
So now that your favorite is doggy, how do you now live with this person? I've seen a lot of doctrines flowing up and down because people are attending churches that I think they have interpretation of. They have a problem
with interpretation of scriptures.
So with these things, if care is not taken, you will have problem with us. A lady told me my husband nearly slapped me because I put the Catholic rosary on my children's neck. And the man, there's nothing wrong with Catholic rosary. He believes that there's no power in Catholic rosary. The power is in Jesus. I don't have time to argue about those things.
Exactly.
But I'm saying that these little things, you will ignore it. Now, church he attends doesn't matter. Oh, yeah, I love him. But if you don't take care, these doctrinal differences will cause problems.
It become a major issue.
There is a church that believes that when we go to church, we can take Cain and cane Satan.
Yeah.
Another church believes that so imagine you are raising children. The mom says tithe is biblical. The husband says tithe is past. So then now, what kind of children are you raising? These things, they look minor. Somebody wakes up to pray midnight, and the husband is saying that you're making noise. What is midnight prayer?
Exactly.
There's no witch in the world.
Exactly.
You know? So these things, they are very minute. But you see, they can scale you off the road. They can really mess you up.
Exactly.
I've seen a lot of marriages going through hell because of doctrinal differences.
Right.
I don't eat meat. Not because of scriptures. I don't like it.
Yeah.
So I'm a fan of fish. And I'll go and marry somebody and said, our church, you don't eat fish. And they say, I have to be a vegetarian. You are forced
to become a vegetarian.
Against my will, because I don't naturally eat meat. So you see, some of these things, they really, if we don't mature up, I've seen people raising prayer point, let's kill this witch. And somebody says that which is a spirit, which comes a spirit, spirits don't die, can't kill it. So imagine your wife lifting this kind of prayer, let's kill this witch, and you believe that witch is a spirit and you don't die. You stand there looking at her and she'll be like, I'm raising prayer point, you are looking, you won't pray. When you raise yours, you want us to pray, I won't pray.
Right.
Beginning of conflict. So these doctrines have a way of destroying us. So please, when we marry, let's mature. Let's try to attend one church, understand God from the same, or eat or feed from the same pastor, so that we have the same doctrinal mind. We can run. It's easier that way because except two agree together, they cannot make a journey
together. This is beautiful. This is a very interesting topic. I just love the topic. I wish that we can talk more, but we don't have time. And so, quickly before we wrap up, what are some of the ways we can resolve conflicts or prevent conflicts if we are already in a marriage or relationship and these things are coming up? We realize that we lack knowledge in these areas we spoke about. What is the best way to resolve some of the conflicts? Because it's important for us to talk about it so that it's not as if we're just talking about the challenges or the conflict, but we have to find a way to resolve the conflict. So, what are some of the things we have to do to resolve the conflicts?
All right. The first one, I think I've mentioned it in First Peter 3:7, that we have to dwell with them according to
According
knowledge.
to
So that means knowledge is fundamental.
Mm.
Now, this knowledge has two dimensions.
Mm.
One, it talks about general knowledge,
Mm.
and two, it talks about specific knowledge.
Mm.
The general knowledge talks about you knowing. It hurts me that a lot of people enter into a relationship without even knowing anything about relationship.
Yeah.
I was asking my friends a couple of weeks ago, I said, you are in a relationship and you are happy now.
Mm.
Do you know what it takes to
Mm.
sustain or to survive a broken heart? I
Mm.
said, no. And I said, a broken heart will happen. It may happen.
Mm.
If it happens, are you now going to look for the book to read? So we don't prepare in advance. It's like a cleaner who is cleaning the plane, saw a book at the cockpit.
Mm.
He has access to clean the inside. So as he was cleaning, he saw how to fly a jet.
Mm.
And was like, wow, great opportunity. There's nobody here. Let me open. He flipped through. He said, step 1, do this. Step 2. He did it up to step 7. And before he knew, the plane started moving.
Mm.
The plane is about to take off. Press this knob. He pressed it. And the plane is already in the sky.
Mm.
When he opened to the next chapter, maybe where he has to land, they said, for the next chapter, buy volume 2 of the book.
Mm.
Buy volume 2. That means this one is volume 1.
Mm.
How to fly.
Exactly.
But how to land is not there. So,
Hey.
and now you're already in the sky. So where are you now going to download book 2, volume 2, or which shop are you going to? So
Jehovah.
in short, it's rest in
Mm.
peace in advance.
Mm.
And this is what happens to most of our marriage. We don't really
don't
learn
read.
ahead.
We don't learn.
If my husband cheats, he's not cheating. But if he cheats, what will you do? You don't know. So when you get there, you get stuck.
Mm.
When you get there, you start going to TV channels and go and be reporting because you have not prepared in advance. So I
You go to
believe
TV
that
channels.
I
That
don't- we
has
don't want to-
become
we
so
don't want to talk
rampant
about it.
now,
I don't want to go there.
I mean,
I don't want to go there. But if you know better, you
Mm,
have done
you'll
better.
not
So
go
we
there.
have to learn in advance.
exactly.
Number 2, aside the advanced knowledge about marriage, the next thing is that you must know about your spouse.
Okay.
When you know,
Mm.
when I got married, it wasn't easy for us at the
Mm.
beginning, but after 8 years, by God's grace, it's better.
Mm.
It's not better because of time. It's
Mm.
better because I've now studied my wife to know the things that triggers her anger, the
Mm.
things that pissed her off, and when she pissed her, what should I do?
Mm.
If you don't learn these things over time, you keep repeating the same mistake.
Mm.
And so we don't learn. You do this, your wife is angry, you still keep doing it because you don't
Mm.
study her.
Mm.
You do this, your wife gets pissed off, she gets angry, she's not talking to you for 2 days. And instead of us to learn that this is a triggering factor, when I trigger or press this button, this is
This
why
what
she
happens.
behaves. If you don't study this, then we will still keep fighting over the
Mm.
same thing for the past 10 years. And there are people who are married for 10 years, they're still fighting the same battle they were fighting when they were 1 year
Mm.
anniversary because
Mm.
we are not learning.
Mm.
So learn your spouse. If you learn, it helps you to adjust.
Mm.
You're getting it.
Mm.
Some people have the most terrible spouses ever, and yet they are happy.
Mm.
I've seen a marriage. I saw a marriage. I was afraid for the man
Mm.
because this wife is, I can't. But the man is not complaining. He's very
Mm.
happy. He's happily married. Why? He has studied her.
Mm.
So no
Mm.
matter how she's tough and she's hard and she's bullying people and she's doing this, the man knows that this thing, I don't do this. If I don't do A, B, C, she don't get angry. She don't get pissed off.
Mm.
If I do this, and she's angry, she will calm down.
Okay.
If you know it, it helps you better.
You're right.
So these are the things I think that if you put in place, if you study very well and you know your spouse very well, it's a
Mm.
way they are. See, the battles you used to fight in your marriage 5 years ago, I'm not sure
Mm.
now you'll fight over them again.
Oh yeah. That's true.
Because we are learning, we are growing. So we must learn.
That's
We
true.
must learn.
That's true. To
So-
add to knowing your spouse, I think one of the things that we didn't talk about that I feel is also part of the reason why there are conflicts in our marriages and relationships because we don't know our spouse's love languages.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a way you see love. There's a way you understand love. For you, love is that you want to be respected. You want your wife to cook a particular meal for you. You want your wife to buy you certain gift
Every
or
week, yeah.
give you, hype you in one way or the other. Or maybe your wife or your beloved just wants you to check up on her.
Mhm.
If you call her in the morning, call her in the evening, no matter how busy you are, once you call or WhatsApp to check up on her, for her, that is enough for her. For somebody, it's, how do you call it? Somebody say physical touch. So
Yeah.
if you are around her, she wants you to hold and all of that. And if you don't do that, she feels she's not loved. So I think that some of the things we have to look at, or one of the key things we have to look at, is to know the love languages of our spouses and be ready to, as it were, do our best to be there for them as far as their love languages are concerned. So it's important for us to know um, our spouse's love languages. And like the thing we spoke about earlier, the causes of the conflict in marriages and relationships, it's important for us to, as it were, go back. If you have listened to us today and you've not been doing all of these things, you didn't pay attention to the background of your spouse, where they were brought up, parental upbringing, environmental upbringing, church or gender balance. You have to go back and look at all of this and take your time. Don't be too proud. I think some of us are also sometimes too proud. We have ego issues. And so we don't even want to humble ourselves to, as it were, learn to become a better version for ourselves and also for the relationship. We become very selfish. And so it's also part of why we have issues. So if we can go back and then speak to ourselves, work on our egos and then our pride level, and understand that, hey, a relationship is not about you alone, it's about the
Us.
two of you. It will go a long way to as it were, bring peace and stability in our marriages and relationships, that will not have to be fighting over things that we don't need to be fighting about. I believe that most of the things, as a matter of fact, they are avoidable if
Yeah.
we have knowledge. A lot of the things are avoidable if we have knowledge. Pastor Collins, before we go, I want you to give us your last words, because my producer is telling me that time is up, time is up. So give us your last words.
Okay. So what we just learned today,
Mm.
they are internal battles.
Mm.
I'm not
Okay.
going to the external battle yet, because the
Mm.
external battles has to do with warfare,
Mm.
in-laws,
Mm.
friends. These are
Mm.
outside the marriage.
Mm.
I'm just talking about you and I, what we are likely to face that will cause problem
Can you
for us.
touch briefly on the external one, like the in-laws and all of that? Producer, please, 1 minute,
Okay.
please.
All right. So
Just
you
touch
know,
on that quickly, then we'll wrap up.
when you are marrying,
Mm.
you don't marry individuals.
Okay,
You marry from families.
right.
So when you marry, you create a third party,
Mm.
a third family.
Mm.
You don't. So it means you have your in-laws,
Mm.
you have your biological
Mm.
family,
Mm.
and these three is coming to form one.
Mm.
So your ability to relate with this and this, if
Mm.
you don't take care, can destroy your marriage.
Mm.
So now it means you are with your husband and your wife, but you must learn to now relate, set boundaries,
Mm. Exactly.
treat them,
You have to even know how to
work
set the
with
boundaries.
them. That's it. Work with them
Mm.
very well. Because if your father-in-law says, "I want my daughter back," you will lose the battle.
Mm.
You will lose the battle.
Mm.
If your mother-in-law rises up against you, you are in trouble.
Mm.
Because are you getting it?
Mm.
So now we need wisdom to now
Wisdom,
learn how to
wisdom,
relate
wisdom.
with here
That's right.
and relate with here,
That's
so
right.
that here doesn't look like you love here than
And
here. It's a whole lot of battle.
Mm.
And if the best thing you can ever have in life
Mm.
is to have good in-laws.
Mm.
If you have good relationship with your in-laws, you are
Mm.
blessed.
That's true.
It's a plus. It's a
Mm.
blessing.
Mm.
So this one can cause fights.
Mm.
So I'm afraid for young ladies
Mm.
who are going to marriage and the in-laws don't like them, but they still want it.
So go ahead. Mm.
That one, you are creating another war
It's a
on its
battle,
own.
crap.
It's a battle on
It's
its
a
own.
warfare.
So relating with in-laws,
Mm.
if you don't manage it very well, the fight it will bring is more than the internal battles we are fighting.
Mm.
So aside the internal, let us not propound more battles for us.
Mm.
And the second one is spiritual warfare.
Okay.
There's some families you enter into. I want to marry you.
Mm.
But the moment you say, I want to marry you, I love you, altars are rising
Altars will rise against you. That's
because
true.
of where they come from,
Mm.
because of the background, spiritual
Mm.
background they come from.
Mm.
So we have to be very technical. That's
Mm.
why I fear for people who are doing sex in relationship,
Mm.
because you have not done spiritual survey to know what is fighting.
Mm.
I met a young lady.
And you're already building covenant with the sex.
I've met a young lady who lost her husband.
Mm.
She got married and lost her husband again.
Mm.
And now she's going for the third one. If the
Mm.
man is not strong, he will go.
You'll go again.
So these are their forces. Their
Forces.
families that nobody cross the limits. That a
Mm.
wedding is a taboo in the
Mm.
spirits.
Mm.
If you don't take care to some families, marrying 10 years in marriage is a taboo. They will
Mm.
fight you out.
Mm.
Left, right,
That's
witchcraft or cultism will come in.
Right.
So if you know these things, you
Mm.
prepare.
Mm.
That's why they say the family that prays together lives together,
Lives
because
together.
we know what we are battling from.
Mm.
So if you know these things, it helps you to also fight it.
Mm.
So when you are dating, that's when to do the fasting once a week,
Mm.
bombard altars. You don't go
Mm.
for honeymoon and be fighting witches.
Mm. Mm.
It's an error.
Mm.
You
You
deal
don't
them
go
with
to
them
honeymoon
and fight
to fight
battles.
witches.
It's also a warfare.
Mm.
It's a honeymoon.
Mm.
So we have to do the underground, do the
Mm.
spiritual mapping,
Mm.
do everything we have to do before we step in there.
Right.
But most people, we forget. When we enter a relationship, we start fooling
Mm.
and leaving God aside.
Mm.
And when the devil strikes, you'll be surprised. Why I met a lady who told me she has had 11 engagements.
Mm.
11.
Before her marriage,
She's not
she's
married.
not even married.
11. It's not physical.
Wow.
There are
Wow.
families you enter into to marry, your business will go down in
It's
4
true.
years.
That's true.
They are warfare. So we can't be playing around.
You see,
this.
that is why I believe that you don't just enter a relationship because of somebody's physical outlook or appearance, because that can be deceptive. Behind the physical appearance are altars that are fighting marriages in the marriage, in the family, like you're rightly saying. So you have to be prayerful. You have to prayerfully consider whoever you want to settle down with, so that you don't have battles after marrying. It's very, very key.
See, the first
very, very
battle, the
important.
first attack in the world
Mm,
is where? Is marriage.
mm.
When God
Exactly.
created man, they never didn't care. When God
Mm.
created animals, when He
Mm.
brought marriage to the garden, he said, no, this
Mm.
one is a threat.
Mm,
So every marriage you go through attack.
mm,
You have to be strong. That's why you must marry a prayer partner.
mm.
You must marry a friend who you can hold hands with and pray together.
Pray together.
But there are times that when the altars or things rise up, you need corporate
You
prayer.
need corporate prayer.
So don't tell me you can marry an unbeliever.
Mm.
There are men who cannot even do opening prayer over food. They can't pray over food.
My goodness.
The day in which you appear in your room, you will know that you need a prayerful man.
Mm.
That's when you start running after pastors
Mm.
for oil and things.
Mm.
Get a man, let the man be your high priest, let him be your prophet.
That's right.
Because this is more spiritual
Mm.
than it's physical.
Marriage is more spiritual than it's physical. Pastor Collins, thank you so much.
God bless you, sir.
It's unfortunately we have to end this way, but I was liking the end of the show, but we have to end this way. Thank you so much for coming
God bless.
again. God bless you so much.
God bless you, sir.
And to you, our viewers, once again, we want to thank you so much for staying with us. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. We don't know what to do. You are the reason why we are here, and we want you to keep joining us and keep inviting others to get on the show with us. And let's do this together every time. Like I said, we want to start answering people's questions, and also whatever you have gone through, you want to, if you feel free to share with us so that we'll discuss it on the show and give you solutions. Please let us know. And so this is the number. I'm giving you the number to be displayed on your screen. The number is +233 273 869408 +233 273 869408. You can share your questions with us, and you can share your challenges, whatever you are going through that you want us to discuss. You can share with us, and then we'll take it from there. God bless you so much once again for staying with us. It is bye for now.